Going live. We are live. There you go. Hello.
Aloha.
Sorry, I was having a
Aloha.
sneezing fit, hence the tardiness. I cannot believe it either. How are you?
I'm good. I've got this week off work, which I'm glad about because I went to Knit and Stitch convention over the weekend, which I'd never been to the place where it's held before. I've been to Comic Con and stuff, and it's big, but I didn't
Yeah.
realize how big Alexandra Palace is. And
Massive.
it's absolutely huge, and it was full with vendors and workshops and stuff. So yeah, it was a long day, but so much fun.
Good.
And yeah, early birthday present.
Did you buy much?
Yeah, mostly like
Yes.
stuff for like the shop. So
Yeah.
I bought some fabric so I can make some scrunchies and some yarn so I can make some things for the shop. I haven't made much Halloween stuff with it being so close. I'm just gonna start on the Christmas stuff.
Fair
So I've
enough.
started making Christmas scrunchies today.
Nice.
And I did pick up some knitting needles and some yarn because I want to try and knit a pair of socks.
Lovely
But
good project.
last night I casted on about 5 times, but I kept casting on too tight, so I couldn't get my needles in. So I gave up.
No, that makes sense. My mum made me a pair of socks once. She went through them. My mum is one of those really annoying people. I love her dearly. But like pretty much anything crafty you can give her and she will pick up and she will be very good at it. Like knitting, crocheting. She doesn't have the I don't think she has the patience for crocheting. But like I reckon if I just sat her down, she'd be fine. And I think I've still got the pair of socks that she knitted me upstairs. They're not necessarily the comfiest socks in the world. They are. They're warm, but where the edging is right at the front of the toe, because I'm picky, it's not. It has to be on a certain place on my foot, otherwise it really bugs me. But I think that's more
A you thing.
more a me thing, yeah, than it is the poor sock thing.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah. Well, we have a whole new series to talk about today.
Excited.
I feel like it's been
So
ages since we started a new series. Absolutely ages.
yeah, and to be fair, it seems to be the only time I'm getting through series at the moment is our little thing, so I'm happy.
That's good. I'm loving that. I am also finding that a little bit, if I'm honest. I think I set myself a goal of, I don't know, 5 series to finish this year, and I don't think I have. I don't think I have. But I finished every series that we've started, so that's a good thing.
I was talking to Megan Chloe and at the weekend, and
Mhm.
I started the Raven cycle, and I realized when we were talking, I was like, "Oh, I've got the last book of that to read. I've got the last book of The Faithful and the Fallen to read. I've got." I read Stranger Dreamer, but then DNF Muse of Nightmare, so I haven't finished that series either. And they're like, "You need to finish these books."
Yeah, I sat down a while ago and I was trying to redo. So I had a series tracker from years ago, and then I was trying to redo it, and I took so many things out. I basically tabbed it at the bottom to be like what I'm currently reading, what I haven't started, and what I've completed. Because it got to a point where I was like, I was like 1 or 2 books into series, mainly one, and I read the first book back in like 2020 or before, and this was like 2023, and I was like, I'm gonna have to read that whole first book again because I don't know what's going on. I've got no idea. So in the end, I just had to like take a load of series out and basically put it in my not started, and just I've been restarting them as I go. But it's a
I
lot.
don't want to track my series because I feel like it's just a nice surprise to just
Oh, surprise! I finished.
like,
I
oh,
do
I
it
just
more
have to.
because there's a lot of series, especially when I was getting book boxes. You know, you'd get obviously the first book, and then you may read that book. Often I did not, but it was just nice to keep track to be like, oh, okay, this is going to be a series. And then when the next book got announced, I would then add it in, and I'd be like, right, okay, this is
Yeah.
where these are and what this is. And then it would get to be like 2 or 3 books long, and I'm like, right, okay, maybe now I should read them. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. Because we read a Study in Drowning. Apparently, it's a series. Book 2's out or coming out.
Yeah, I don't
I
think I'm
thought
gonna
it was
give
a standalone.
I think I'm gonna give that a miss. I'll be
I
honest.
will read it because I liked it.
Audibly or
Probably, yeah.
well, no, fair enough.
I read the majority of what I read recently audibly, including We Are the Dead.
Did you? I
Yeah.
read it physically. It was the first book I read physically in not a long time because I read a book on holiday. But the first time I've read a book for us in a very long time physically. How did you find it?
I did really like it. I did. I found it easy to like read along with.
Yeah.
I do want to get I will get physical copies of this, I think.
Yes.
Depending on how the rest of the series go. I don't want to do the typical Lisa thing and be like, buy the full series because I enjoyed book 1.
Yeah.
And then I'm finding one of the reasons why I worry about finishing series is because apart from a very few people, ends of series have let me down.
Yeah.
And it worries me. So yeah, I'll wait till I finish this series. And if I like it, I will get it. But I ended up settling on a 4-star because
Mm.
there were some things that annoyed me, but it's because the character was supposed to be annoying.
Yeah.
And he does that really, really well. But
Mm.
I was still finding myself like wanting to yeet Tinstra out of a window.
Yes. So what did you rate it?
4 in the end.
Me too. 4 stars. Found the
Yeah.
start a bit slow going. I will say the only downside to me reading this physically, and although multiple POV is my absolute favourite way to read because you get multiple points of view, funnily enough, around the same things but obviously in different places. I found that because it wasn't the stereotypical, in my opinion, what I've experienced recently, YA of it being like person A, person B, person A,
Yeah.
person B, it jumped around a lot more, and there would be some chapters where you'd be going like 3, 4, 5 chapters until you got back to that point of view where you left off.
Yeah.
I was having the problem, especially in certain parts. Oh, I'm going to say this now. We spoil things, so if you're watching this now and you,
Spoiler alert!
you haven't actually read this book, you will find out more than you probably want to before reading it. So I've said my piece. I will carry on. There were certain points in the book where, like, it would be a cliffhanger bit for that character, and I
Yeah.
would have to flick through. Like, there was a point with Jax where I was convinced he wasn't going to make it, and then I flicked through to the end of the book to see if he still had a point of view. And I was like, oh yeah, he's still there. It's okay.
Oh my god.
So I don't think and it was the first time actually in a while that I've done that and not actually spoiled myself to anything big. But there were quite a few times where I'd be like, oh, when do we get back to them? Because I don't really care about you right now. I don't care about you right now. But then you get into the next point of view and you'd be like, right, okay, not so sure. But then you get into the next one and that'd be a completely different person.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now I'm hooked on this. And then we go back to the other person and I'd be like, hang on, what was happening with person B?
I think because I read when I read audibly, I read it quite quickly.
Yeah.
I don't really think that I didn't really feel that kind of like urgency to get back to the other characters,
Yeah.
apart from when we kept going back to Tinstra in the beginning, because it did get a bit old when we were constantly being told how she was a coward, how she was scared, and how she needs to run away, and how she's not brave, and it was like it got to a point where initially they were just telling us, but then when they told us every time something bad happened, she would
Yes.
still go along with it, but then she would. I felt like saying like you are in the middle of a crisis situation, life or death, and you stood there going, "Oh no, I should run away. I should run." I'm like, "Bitch, just you're here. Just move. Like, just stop standing around." It's
Yeah.
yeah. Like that bit did sort of like those times I did kind of want to skip ahead, but I didn't because I feel like because I've read so many similar types of books before.
Mm.
It felt like it was setting her up to be more than what she was. So I wanted to
Yeah.
continue reading her as the coward that she thought that she was.
Yeah. Well, she
Just to
was
sort of, yeah,
100%. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't until I did like the line from I don't know. I think it was Gris. I think who said it. towards the end, and she told Greener about how she had this magic sword.
Oh yeah.
And Gris turned around and he was like, "Well, that's bullshit because otherwise we'd all be running around with magic swords." I was like, "Yeah, makes a lot of sense actually. We'd all
I
be
knew
running
that.
around here with magic swords."
I knew that as soon as he said that I could like bless this sword and make you brave.
And
Again, I know that.
that was the bit that I found interesting though, because clearly she must not have like hurt herself to an extent during that period with the sword, because she just said I kept holding it and then like my aches and pains went away, and obviously that's got to be a placebo effect. That's all mental.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you kind of look at it and you go, "Well, you can't hurt yourself that much. Like, you've
Yeah.
given yourself a shock, but clearly you haven't broke anything, because if you broke something, no placebo effect is going to fix that."
I think as well that it kind of it really does show that your mind can play tricks on you. Like she was because and like he was a mage, so and she like wholeheartedly believed
Yeah.
he'd done like his magical magey shit on her sword. And when she realized that actually it wasn't the sword that made her brave, was it like because she stopped telling herself she was a coward. She stopped telling herself she was scared. She
Yeah.
kept and it's amazing what you can do when you sort of change your mindset.
Yeah.
Because realizing that it was 100% her,
Mm.
that was sort of like a bit of a revelation for her, I think.
Yeah. And I think having Zurich to kind of live for as well was a big thing. Because
Yeah.
without that little 4, the fact that this kid was 4.
Oh, I know.
Mm.
The amount of times I
Well,
thought she was just going to die, I was like, please, she's a child. Don't kill her.
I didn't think she would die, to be fair, throughout the whole thing, because I was
Oh.
like, well, then what's the point in the rest of the books? Like, if you're telling me the only way forward is for this, but then again, J. Kristoff has a habit of doing that.
We do know that some authors like the resurrection trope, so you can never tell. Like, you never know what's going to happen in these. And I will say that if anybody's thinking of reading this,
it's very grim.
When I say it's dark, just look up like content. There is definitely discussions around taking your own life. There is some quite gruesome.
Yeah, that's right at the start of the book.
Yeah, which was a shock.
Yeah,
Going into a book, and I thought like most people would ease you in gently to a book, not right at the beginning of a book. You meet one of the main characters who's contemplating ending their own life. Like that is, and to be fair, I haven't looked up the content warnings for this book, so I don't know if that is something that is around. If content warnings for that are around, but it is a very dark book. There are because of the way the characters are. Some of them are quite funny and they bring a bit of light to the some of the stuff they say. I don't think what they say is supposed to be funny, but it comes across as funny sometimes.
yeah,
And there are certain characters that really draw your attention. So it does. You don't feel like you're in like a pit of despair.
yeah.
But it is dark. It is grim. There's a lot of sort of insides of bodies being outside of bodies and descriptions of rotting corpses, etc. So just maybe don't eat when reading this book, or like just know going in that you are going to read some quite gruesome, torturous scenes, and so there's a person that revels in torturing people, kind of like if you've read Joe Abercrombie and Glockter and the whole torturing. Darius enjoys torturing people.
Yeah, but then I feel like that's from like the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Like Glockter enjoys torturing people because people enjoy torturing him, and now he's a cripple because of that. Darius just enjoys torturing because he's sick.
A sadistic bastard.
Yeah, 1,000%. And I liked the overall like points of view that we got from this book. So we've got Tinstra, who is a trained soldier in this original world.
She's a shulker. Well, she was being raised and trained to be a shulker.
Yeah, which is a
Yeah.
soldier of like that
Yeah.
world. And then you had Jax, who was also a soldier, a commander in that world. And then you see his perspective before they get invaded and after, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
Please.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Hang on, one more.
Bless you.
Right, I think I'm good. Yeah. Dinster, Jax, you've got Dren, who is a young kid who is a pain in the ass, but he turns around in the end. Like he does have a redemption arc.
Yeah.
Who else did we have? We had Darius, who is basically one of the invaders, but he is a chosen one.
Oh God! If I hear that fucking phrase one more time, I'll be like, "Oh, I've been chosen."
Was only 4.
Yaz.
And Yaz, who is just a
single mother. Well, yeah, she's widowed.
Single mother, common person.
Yeah.
In this now invaded world. And I liked how you saw certain people in the prologue, and the fact that this book takes place over the span of like 8 days.
That was so strange. It feels longer than 8 days.
Yeah.
But then I totally didn't even, me being typical me, I didn't cotton on that it was only over 8 days, but that's the names of the chapters, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, it's the different sections.
Yeah, the different sections are like, and I didn't really focus on that bit until, because I never really focus on chapter headings unless the funny quotes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this is actually, it is over 8 days. They go through so fucking much in 8 days.
They really do, yeah. And bearing in mind, Dren is captured for 2 of those days. And Jax is in prison for the majority of it.
Yeah, like, yeah, it was just the whole the before situation. I like the fact that we're introduced to Dren and his cousin, and Jax at the beginning, and like how arrogant the Shulker were. Like they are the epitome of the warrior. They are the best of the best. Nobody can defeat them, and it really just shows you the arrogance of these people just because
but then in their defense, the only people they were fighting were these Igreal, who were, as we find out at the end of the book, basically masquerading as barbarians. They weren't actually, but like they were switched on, and they had. Well, they probably didn't start off that way. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they were saying that some of the Igreal that they sent in were actually just animals. Like they were.
Yeah.
But they sent those ahead as like bait, really, to make people believe.
And then they got the Tonnin, who look awful from the description.
Oh God, that makes me feel sick the way they were described. I was like,
balding and tufts of hair and pale alabaster skin from not seeing real sunlight. And they ended up sending them through as like refugees to be saying, oh, we're running away from the new regime, when actually they were being brought in so they could open gates, because that's what they could do with their magic. They could then transport armies of people in a minute, and it would just, I don't know, all I understood about that was the screeching. I didn't really understand the magic of that, but there was always a screech, which I was not a fan of.
The way that magic is used in this world as well, I think it's really interesting. Like how who has magic and how it's used.
Like it's a limited resource. Like not everybody has it, and then when you're talking to Asgod, which is a very interesting name, and he's saying that in Gia, which is where the whole thing pretty much takes place, he was like, well, before loads of like people were constantly born with all these powers, and then we noticed that the numbers started to drop, but we didn't care because like we had all this magic, and so what if a few of us didn't, and it got to a point where like it was rarer to be born with magic than to not be. And even he was saying, he was like, I'm strong, but even I need access to this specific
to the well
to actually be able to do my magic. And it wasn't even just like inbuilt in him like it is in the Chosen.
Yeah, so I mean, at the moment, we've still not fully got an explanation as to how on earth we know that the magic's drying up,
Yeah,
and that, but then it's sort of like how is the queen? Well, obviously the princess that ended up being a queen because the family were killed, like how she was one of the ones that ended up with magic,
I think it's just like one of those like weird genetic things that
like
happen.
throwback things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a recessive gene. And
yeah,
but as he said, originally it was her and her brother who
yeah.
they both had the ability to do magic, sorry. But in the escape, we are bouncing all over this book. But in the escape, when they tried to rescue the true king of Gia and his family, everyone got killed, including her brother, apart from her, and she's the only one that managed to survive and get out.
Yeah, she's
So
basically it's like protect the savior. Like they can only survive if the queen survives. Bear in
yeah,
mind, this queen is now is only 4 years old,
yeah,
so they've got to protect her. But it's not like you've got to protect her just to get her to somewhere safe.
yeah.
You've got
You
to
got to
protect this
train
little
her.
girl. Like she's gonna have to be protected for many years because she is only 4. There's absolutely no fucking way she's gonna run a country at 4. Like it's absolutely baffling. Like.
Everybody has to eat ice cream all the time.
Yeah. But when we first meet Tinstra, like for a good majority of the book, she pissed me off. Because
Yeah,
but I think that again, I think she was supposed to annoy you,
yeah.
but it did get a little bit. There was a really fine line between like knowing that she's a coward and like
Yeah,
overdoing it, and it got to a point where it was a little bit overdone.
yeah.
Um, and if I'd have been a person with her at the times that she was like freaking out, I'd have just
Listen,
left her. Like
but
I just
even
would.
saying that, that was exactly how I felt about Zorik when we were they were being chased by the skulls, so the people that invaded, and they were
Yeah.
running through the woods, and it wasn't even as if like this kid had no idea what was going on. Like she'd clearly seen everything that had happened, and then Tinstra was like, "No, no, we need to go," and she's like, "No, no."
Yeah. When she was like I'm not moving. I'm like seriously run.
And like I understand, like don't get me wrong, I understand to an extent 4-year-olds and how they can be, but I would have thought that that would have terrified the 4-year-old, and then they would have just kept going, like been round up and set off, and they didn't stop, rather than just being like, no, no,
That bit for me, that was a bit where I was like, is she gonna get kidnapped? Or, like, is something gonna happen to her?
no.
Because they seem to get away just in the nick of time quite often.
I was
Or,
quite
like,
impressed that she only got taken once.
yeah, yeah, very much so. Especially given the band of rebels that she was live with, like that none of them, apart from Jax, they're all just like living on a wing and a prayer, aren't they? Like the Dren is a little shit. I think he's
He
like
was just
15,
so
isn't he? Like,
angry, and like I understand his anger,
I get it. I
but
do get
there,
it.
there were and there were chapters where he's there going, well, they're not doing anything, all they're doing is talking.
Oh yeah.
And they're not actually, and I've killed like 30 skulls, and I was like, well, freaking done. Like, how many are there? Have you, like, and I understood it took like over 50% of the book for it to be knocked into him, for him to understand, like, oh, wait, yeah, actually, no, maybe what we're doing isn't causing them as much damage as I
Yeah.
seem to think it is. But even that general maths that he was sat there doing in his water tower, when he was like, "Yeah, I've got 30 helmets here," and I'm like, "Right." And how many skulls have you seen in one day? Like, what is 30? What is 30 to them? Let's
I
be
think
real.
for him though, because if you think like he's he's grown up with a lot of like
Yeah,
hatred for other people in general, and so he hated the Shulker because they
they
were
were.
all like, we are powerful and we are here to fight people, but anyone that's not a Shulker is gonna live in shit, live in squalor. And
Yeah,
then they were like, right, okay, I hate you. But then from his perspective, because obviously the war happened so quickly, all he would have seen was this Shulker being overwhelmed by the schools.
Yeah.
And from his perspective as like a little kid, he would look like they didn't do anything to protect themselves. But then from their perspective, they were just shocked at how organized the Groveland schools were. So it was, yeah. And then obviously he had no family. All his family had gone apart from his cousin. So he was, yes, he used them for his own gain, really, but that was his very childish way of thinking, like, I'm gonna get back at these people like the best way that I know how.
Yeah.
And
I don't think they were that old though, to be fair. Like,
I think he was like 15, wasn't he?
yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, he wasn't even anywhere near 18.
Yeah, so but then all the kids that,
Oh,
well,
really?
not me as well. Like, what really shocked me, and it took a while to sink in, and I don't know why. But at the beginning, when he's sending that girl off as like a suicide bomber,
Yeah.
like because when she was talking about, I need food for my little boy, I genuinely thought like she needed food for a little boy. I don't know why it just totally went over my head.
No, and then they said,
until
didn't they, at the end when he was
yeah,
talking about her and he was looking back on it, he said
yeah,
he'd found her on the streets after they'd killed her husband and her kid.
yeah,
And that's why she basically got so dedicated to the cause that he pitched, because not being funny, even me at 29, if some 15-year-old boy came up to me now and was like, do you want to join a revolution? I'd be like, go home. What are you on about? Like,
But when you think
where's your
about it,
mum?
she's lost everyone she loved.
Yeah.
She was in a pit of despair, like, and it wasn't like she saw any light at the end of the tunnel because they've occupied
Yeah.
where she lived, so that they have been like fully invaded. So that it's not like
Mm.
there was a war that she could get away from, because they were constant, and they were like doing awful things to the people of her city. So again, from her perspective, I could kind of understand
Mm.
at the moment when he was like, "Do you want to get your own back on them? And this is how you can do it."
Yeah.
She'd be like, "Yeah, she's scared," but even though she would die at the end of it, to her it would feel like she's got her own back in somewhere, because she could kill a couple of them
Yeah.
because they killed her family, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I can get it, but then it really did make me feel a bit sorry for Dren, that when it was being explained to him exactly how it actually was,
Mm.
he sort of then realized that he was just acting out of just like a childish sort of retaliation. But
Yeah.
and as annoying as he was, that is generally how a person would with no parental guidance, no adult
Yeah.
guidance at all, thrust into a situation like that, you're gonna want to retaliate
Mm.
for losing almost everybody you loved.
Yeah. And then he ends up losing everybody anyways because his
Oh,
cousin.
that was horrible.
But I knew it. The minute that he sat down and had that
Yeah,
conversation with Quist and he was like, "Oh, look, like, we've been going about this the wrong way.
yeah,
We're not actually doing any damage to these people." And then his cousin turns around and he goes, "You've changed, blah, blah, blah."
yeah,
And then they make up, and him and the little girl,
yeah. I forgot her name, but I know what you mean.
Fraser or something like that,
Something
and
over there.
they're like, "Oh, well, I've got to go run an errand before we go out tonight.
Yeah,
See you in a bit." And Dren's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Like, see you in a bit."
but you could
Still
tell.
knew something was
Yeah,
off.
he knew something was off. Yeah, but I don't think he would have expected. I don't think he expected that. He knew
No.
something was off, and he knew that things weren't right between them. But I don't think he ever expected them to fully betray him,
Yeah.
especially when he was like totally going extreme. That Chris was very much like trying
Yeah,
to
I
bring him
was
down.
surprised because at one point, yeah, well, like when he made the little girl cry after they like blew up the
Yeah,
council house, and he was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Like,
yeah, like you're
get
going
out
too
of hand.
far. Yeah,
And then he turns around and he's like, "Yeah, well, we're gonna do all this stuff for the rebels." And his cousin turns around and he's like, "Well, no, like, no, I'm not working for them. I'm just, and I found it quite interesting how his cousin turned around to him and he was saying, "Oh well, I do this for me.
Yeah.
I get to eat when I want. I get to do." And I was like, "Eat what? Like, like
You were
you're
living
all
off the
living in
street.
a bombed out house. By the sounds of it, there's no beds. It's not like you've been born into this. You were born into a house. You had a family, and you had a nice place, and like." Yeah, he had to go and do, but he sounds like the sort of kid I would throttle anyways. Because he was like, I don't have to go fishing on the boats and do all the hard graft anymore. And I was like, dude, like, how can you go through this occupation, even in 6 months or however long it was, and be sat there going, yeah, do you know what? I'm glad I don't have to go fishing.
Yeah.
Sorry, what? Like,
It's
surely
like he had no perspective at all, did he? Like,
no. And I know he was a kid. And he was younger than Dren was. And if Dren's 15, then this kid's got to be like, what, 14, 13?
yeah.
Potentially 12, going through a lot. And I understand that to an extent, but to turn around and be like, well, I get to do what I want. I'm like, hang on a sec, aren't you? Because Dren is very clearly mad and
Yeah.
angered at everybody, but particularly the Egriel, because he's like, you killed my parents.
Yeah.
You took them away from me. If I was in this situation, all I want is my mum to hug me. All I want is my dad to take me.
Oh, that was horrible.
But it sounds as though his cousin, and maybe it's all talk because, playing the big I am. But the impression I then got from his cousin being like, oh, well, I don't have to do this and I don't have to do that. I'm like, do you not miss, like, how bad was I don't think your home life was that bad
Yeah.
before. Like, personally, there are very few situations that you could have been in before this
Yeah.
invasion that would make you go, do you know what? I prefer it this way. Actually,
But it's like it. I don't know if it was supposed to give this feeling, but do you know when you read about real life, like occupation
yeah,
in like wars and stuff, it very much gave the vibe of that is probably what it would feel like. It without put the magic aside,
yeah,
like the full, it didn't do anything by halves, did it?
no,
It didn't sugarcoat anything. It really gave you the brutal
mm,
what you would see, like if someone came and invaded and occupied your home,
yeah.
and
Felt
that
very
was
Poppy War to me. I'm not
yes,
sure if have you read Poppy War?
yeah,
Yeah, and even in the first book, how dark it is in the first book,
yeah,
that it gave me the same sort of feelings, but
yeah,
in
and it was
from a
very,
different
very
perspective.
raw
Yeah,
and brutal, and I think at times it was a difficult read, but it needed to be.
yeah,
'Cause I feel like with something like that, because there were so many times in in the real world where things like this have happened,
yeah,
you can't fluff that out, you can't sugarcoat it because
no,
it 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 kind of cheapens the story, which I'm glad he didn't, but yeah, it was difficult to read. But the whole thing with Chris is that like, oh, Chris should I say, Jen
can we
wasn't
call him
gone for that.
Chris?
Yeah, Jen wasn't gone for that long. Like
2
it,
days.
yeah, it feels like he did a total 180
Mm,
from trying to talk Dren down to
mhm,
playing the big I am when Dren came back,
yeah,
and
but also like I
that
had
was
to,
really sad though because he was the only family that Dren had left.
yeah, and he killed him.
Um, and he had to, otherwise he
Well,
would have
yeah, it was
killed
him or them.
Dren. But
Yeah,
it was what it was just the again the brutalness of it, like the
mm,
real sort of situations that he came across was just like it is him or me, and he is
mhm,
out to kill me. So I have to do what I have to do, and
mm,
I was just it was horrible because I did feel for him because he again in such a short time he'd been through a lot. He'd had this massive revelation that how
mm,
he was acting potentially people it sent people off to die. They didn't really need to go off to die. He could have done things differently, so he would have had
yeah,
that weighing on his conscience. Probably don't he wouldn't have cared about the fact that he killed loads of schools because that's it would anyway. But people that he had basically offered this to he could have approached it differently and offered support and help rather than sending you off to die just so you could kill a couple of skulls.
Yeah.
And then being betrayed by the people that he had taken off the streets and tried to help in his own way. But yeah, it was poor kid. Traumatized.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, it also made me think, like, at what headspace was Chris in for him to find his cousins come back after 2 days when he thought he's dead?
Yeah.
Seeing him battered, because he was battered,
Yeah.
'cause he was tortured, and then still sit there and go, "Well, no, I'm not working for the Hanran. I'm gonna
Yeah.
like, I'm more than happy to keep killing the invaders, but I don't want them to go." I don't understand that thought process. Like, that just didn't make
No, and I think that little girl followed him just for the sake of following him because she
She
needed
followed
somebody.
him because Dren made her cry. I
Yeah,
reckon
she wanted someone to follow.
Yeah,
Um,
she was by herself. Well,
yeah,
I don't know. Dren did say go back to your family, but again, I wonder if that home life is not good anymore. You know?
yeah, because she did very much want to be with them
Yeah.
to begin with, didn't she?
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing the different perspective as well, and seeing how ordinary people, and I did like this as well, that a lot of the people that got involved in all this, they weren't like the chosen one heroes. They weren't they weren't warriors. They weren't. Some of them were, but not all of them were warriors.
Yeah.
Like Yaz was a woman that was widowed in the original invasion and occupation.
Yeah.
He had an 18-month-old boy, lived with a mum, had to go and work for the schools just to get some money, was beaten on her first day of work.
And groped at every opportunity.
Oh, God. Just, it made me cringe every time they spoke about that. But then, not only did she have to go through that, but then she was convinced by this fucking Carla, who I wanted to really hurt because she was awful. And, like, she was dragged into this world of just utter chaos.
Yeah.
And it was one of the things that annoyed me about the way that Carla acted was they kept saying, we have to do this, we have to do this, we have to do this. If you have to do it, then you crack on and do it.
Yeah.
There was absolutely no reason for you to bring Yaz into it. Yes, she had a way in, but she wasn't a part of your rebellion. She wasn't a part of your shit.
Yeah, she never was to begin with.
They just used it, and they didn't give a shit. And the fact that she,
but again, I think that's quite indicative of real life as well, because it's like, well, they had a job to do, and that's what they did. Do it. And
it was very much like, we have to do this.
Yeah.
So we will use anyone and anything to get what we need.
Yeah.
Because we need to save Jax.
When she threatened her family, like at the start, it wasn't as awful, like, if you just hear odd information, let me know. And then Jax got captured, and she was like, right, you're gonna poison everybody, and if you don't, then I'm gonna kill your mum and your kids. And she was like, what happens if I die? And Cara was like, well, if you die, then we'll let them go. We're not monsters.
It's kind of like, maybe just rethink that, because you kind of are.
Yeah. Sure.
It's like you are as bad as the Eagle. The Eagle, and the school.
At least they're honest about it.
Yeah. But it's just like, that whole thing, and the fact that I don't know why I thought that she wouldn't actually go through with it, but just again the way that was described and the guilt that she has to now carry with her.
Yeah.
That she didn't even end up having to, even though she did it, turns out she didn't have to do that. They didn't have to. They
didn't even get Jax out the first time.
No. So she feels the guilt of killing all these people that she'd started to care about, and then for it not to actually work in the end anyway, and then Jax got recaptured.
Yeah.
It was just
useless.
She was such a badass, though. I really, really liked her, because even though she didn't want to do it,
she did it.
she did very much. She had a mother bear instinct, which I really liked.
Yeah.
But also, she was like, well, I've been put in this situation now. I'm just gonna work my hardest to like not die,
Yeah.
and for my family, not like I've got to do this for my family.
Mm.
And she just had this like badass attitude, and she was a POV that I really, really loved, and I would love to see more from Yaz in the upcoming books.
Yeah, I wonder where we go next, actually, to be fair, because
Yeah,
we're definitely going to have to get another. We're definitely going to. Surely, we have to get Tinstra's point of view, because at the very end, he's on this boat with the baby. Not baby, she's 4, but close enough to a baby. She manages to get to the boat. They manage to escape. And now the next task for Tinstra is to make sure that Zorik gets to this neighboring nation, but they don't know that Zorik has got magic. So Tinstra needs to make sure that Zorik gets trained by this specific person. Part of me is like, what's the bet that this person is dead? I don't know how, but like,
bet.
you know, like, what's the bet that they're going to be completely dead, or dying? You know, old age, all that fun stuff. Because that happens to people too, no matter if you're 200 or not. Surely we've got to have another Dren point of view.
Yeah, that was an ominous ending. Like,
he turned back and he was like, I've still got stuff to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if that meant he still had the rebellion to do, or whether he was actually genuinely caring for the kids that also follow him now that he's had this whole change of heart thing. And the kids didn't let him down, to be fair. His cousin betrayed him, and he tried to get him to be taken in and got money for Dren, like by betraying him. But all the other kids in their little group set off their bombs as they were told to do. So, you know, they've all gone somewhere. Is Dren coming? Like, I would like to think that Dren is coming back.
Yeah, I would like to think that he's gone back for them and he's gonna try and rescue them because, like you said, they did what they were supposed to do. They believed in Dren's goal and they believed, you know.
Or is he gonna like bring them into the Hanran and like make a new faction?
I think that'd be a cool thing, but I think he needs to try and keep them safe. Because they'll be running around with fuck knows what, not knowing what to do now because they set up the bombs and been like, peaced out. But I'm glad he went back, but I just sort of like, it was kind of bittersweet because they were going together, they were going all as together, weren't they? And now they're like split, and Tinch is now left looking after a little girl that and there's magic she knows nothing about. So it's not like she could ever teach her any magic. So
this is my other theory. I'm not sure if we're at theory parts yet, but here's mine anyways. I have a theory that Tinstra also has some form of magic.
What makes you think that?
Gut feeling.
So maybe she actually did heal herself. She just didn't realise she was doing it.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just feel like for somebody who, unless like her whole arc is literally now she has got this scar on her face and now she is strong and powerful.
Yeah.
I just feel like that'd be a cool twist, but I'm not set on it. But I think it could be a thing.
But maybe. That whole thing about Darius, like not being able to die,
until he chopped his head off.
The whole torture scene with Jax,
like, he just kept cutting his arm off.
Whole thing. That was very much a very raw scene. Scenes, multiple scenes, weren't they? So, and he genuinely had trauma when he saw Darius again. He couldn't move. He couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And that is little things like that. Not that I've been through any sort of like really severe trauma and PTSD, but that's kind of what you would expect given the amount of torture that he'd been through.
Yeah.
But again, seeing that and seeing what Jax loses through all of this and how he feels about himself, he feels like he's a failure because he ended up breaking down and telling them where.
Of course you would. I'm not being funny. I think he chopped my arm off once, and I would.
Yeah.
You know?
That was disgusting to hear. Listening to that. It didn't obviously
Oh
do the
yeah,
whole
you listened
that,
to it.
yeah. But yeah,
Ew.
it was yeah, it was not nice. It was
No, I
yeah.
did feel for him as well because like this is the thing. I'm like, I wonder if he will make an appearance. I think he'll be in the next book, but I don't know if he's going to be like a point of view in the next book because
Yeah.
he's just all scrambled upstairs now, which I completely understand. He's been through a lot, and also in the second that he thought he was going to get released, like Kane gets himself arrested so he can come in and poison him so he can't tell anybody anything. Kane ends up dying, and
Oh,
just as Jax is about to die, Darius comes in, and because he can heal, he heals him and then starts the whole trauma thing. And I was just like, the saddest thing for me in that moment was that Kane thought he'd died and he thought he'd done what he'd set out to do. Like,
yeah.
I couldn't even I couldn't imagine being part of a rebel group and being like, "Hey, do you know what? I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna take out my parent because they know too much for the good of the cause." What? You know, like he was like, "It has to be me. I have to go and take out my dad." Okay, sure, great, fantastic. And then yeah, that was the bit that I found the saddest thing. Not that he got saved. Obviously, the torture is quite harrowing. But the saddest thing for me about that whole thing was more the fact that Kane was like, "I've done my job, and now I'm
Yeah.
finished."
So he went in there to end his own life and his dad's. And
Yeah,
then
because he knew too much as well. So he knew that
yeah,
if he was a mind reader and he got brought back in, then they could use it on him as well.
it was just
There's a lot.
yeah,
There's
it
a
was
lot of death in this book. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, there is the thing is like
I know the title is "We Are the Dead," but I didn't expect everyone to be dead.
but that's because it's their mantra, isn't it? Like we are the
We
dead
are
is their
the dead.
mantra.
Yeah.
And they
We
have
are
a
the
whole
night.
they have the whole spiel that they do.
Spiely spiel.
A spiel. I just think it. I don't. In my head, I have no idea where this is gonna go because
Well, Zorika's got to get trained, so I'm wondering: is the next book going to have a time jump?
yeah,
Because
that's what I mean.
are we going to sit there? I'm going to Google it. Sit among yourselves for a moment. Yeah, I'm wondering if there's a time jump, because if there is, that would make more sense. Because I don't, in the nicest way possible, unless it's done very, very well. I'm not sure if I could sit through a 4-year-old being trained.
No,
I'm not trying to watch a
with her
4-year-old walk through
attitude.
the woods.
But the thing is, she doesn't know she has magic, and I can understand not telling a 4-year-old that she's got magic, but it would be. I can imagine it would be quite difficult to.
It doesn't say if there's a time jump. It just says,
Who does it give you an idea of who we follow
"Do you want me
in the
to hit?
next?
Do you want me to read you the blurb off Goodreads?"
Yeah,
War takes everything. From Tinstra, it took her family and thrust her into a conflict she wanted only to avoid. Yeah, she was a coward. Now, her queen's sole protector, she must give everything she has left to keep Zorik safe. It has taken just as much from Gia's revolutionaries. Dren and Jax, battered, tortured, once enemies themselves, now must hold strong against their bruised invaders, the Egro. For the
ooh.
enemy intends to wipe Gia from the map. They may have lost a battle, but they are coming back. And if Tinstra and her allies hope to survive, Gia's heroes will need to be ready when they do.
So are Jax and Dren gonna team up then?
Does that then mean that we're still going to get a Jax perspective? This is the thing. That also, who is going to be the next big bad? Because obviously the bad perspective in this book was Darius, but he is wow. I think so. I would like to think he's dead.
I would like to think he's dead, but
And his sister's dead because he killed her.
yeah,
So,
that was fucking hilarious. I'm sorry, but she deserved that. She so deserved that.
but I do wonder, because we didn't get her perspective, I wonder if a lot of what she did wasn't actually because she was as egotistical as he thought she was.
I think she was.
I don't know, because like part of that section, when she was like, I can't talk to you like this. You're getting yourself all wound up for nothing. Like, and then, went to go, and he was like, she turned her back on me because she's not afraid of me. blah 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 blah. I was like, it's because you're her brother. Like, I don't think she's gone, oh, you're a puny human, I'm gonna turn my back on you. I think it's literally like, you are my family. It's fine. Like, get over yourself. More of a,
Yeah.
But like some of the things he said, and he was like, oh, she loves to lord this over me. I'm like, I don't see her lording anything. I see her trying to fix what you have all screwed up. Like, you were meant to capture, make sure everyone died when they tried to rescue the king, which you knew about because his brother told you that didn't happen. You got evaded by a magician and a 4-year-old. You killed the magician. Well, your sister killed the magician because you were too busy like flaring at each other rather than actually doing what you were meant to be doing. The 4-year-old still escaped with a like 17, 18, potentially year-old girl by jumping into a waterfall. And then, you capture the 4-year-old, big whoop, like, they're not that hard. They don't run that fast. But he didn't even capture her. He sat on a horse at the top of the bloody hill while everyone else did the fighting. I was like, seriously, what do you do? Like, yes, you can torture, big whoop, like, fantastic, but you just send everyone else off. You're like, yeah, you could go and search for this. You could go and do that. Your sister actually went and fought. What did you do? Nothing. You sit there complaining about how this horse is not as good as your horse. Bring your own horse.
It did make me laugh though, because like he very much wanted to be the big I am, didn't he? And he was like the big bad, and he was pitched as like the antagonist to everything. But I don't know who the big bad's gonna be because he got his head chopped off.
Yeah, I wonder if there's gonna be like a whole new perspective.
It might, yeah. It's got to be because
that would be really good if we could get a raccoon perspective.
I thought you were going to say raccoon. I'm like, yes, we don't have raccoons in here. Raccoon, yeah.
Raccoon, not raccoon.
Yeah, because he apparently made them, didn't they? So
yeah, but I reckon because they're saying all this stuff about how he's like the kid of some god, right? One, I'd love a backstory because I don't think you are. Like, what hovel were you born in, and how did you pull yourself up? Like that, I'd be interested to know. Two, I think that he's just kind of, like the guy who run, like many of the men that run cults, like just very charismatic. That's what he's got to be. Like, people follow them all the time. That doesn't make them clever. But it, like, he brought a lot of people together. So fair play to him for bringing, essentially what sounded like loads of different clans or something together. That's pretty interesting. Clearly he's got magic because he remade Darius and his sister somehow.
Yeah.
And I will say that kind of gave me Akatar vibes. If you read it, like with putting people in the cauldron.
Yeah.
Like how Darius was like, yeah, well, he remade me. Okay. Like, did you get...
Also, how is... We know the magic has dwindled and the well is emptied.
The well that we have in Gia. Is there another well in...
But also, how has the well been emptied?
Because they keep taking bottles of it. Where is it?
It's supposed to be able to like replenish itself. Yeah, there's just so many unanswered questions, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah, but not be like if you had a lake and you kept taking vials from it and there was no rain to refill it, then it would just go down. Surely.
I feel.
Because it doesn't rain magical water. Because if it rained magical water, everyone would just put buckets out and everyone would be able to do magic. You know?
I don't know.
It's not normal water. I don't know.
True.
I don't know. Yeah, not sure.
I think I'm hoping that we get a little bit of a time jump, maybe a few years till the Queen's at a point where she can stand and hold a sword or she can wield a magic.
Queen can stand still. That would be good.
She can do what she's told. No.
Yeah.
So I think, so some kind of training needs to take place. We need to go. I hope we follow more of Tinstra and the Queen.
Yeah.
We get more of Jax and Dren. And if they do team up, I think there's going to be like a really cool mentor-mentee sort of vibe that goes on now that Dren's realised the error of his ways. And I think he might be able to help Jax to stop Jax from falling into like a pit of despair. Because obviously he's not doing great, our Jax, is he? But then we've also got Yaz, who is just a badass, and I'm hoping that she just continues to get stronger. But because in this book, I've come to realize with Mike Shackle is that nobody is safe.
Nobody's safe, but at the same time, I don't feel like he is ruthless. Don't get me wrong, but currently, and I know it's going to end in the second or third book because it has to end at some point. Everyone made it out in the first book. Just saying.
Yeah,
I didn't think they would, but
the main characters did. Yeah, but I feel like we shouldn't expect that in every single book. I feel like we've all made it out of the first book with some of the side characters or lesser well-known characters dying. But I feel like I am not personally, knowing what I'm like, I'm not going to get attached to any new characters introduced because they are then more likely to be the ones to get killed off first. So I'm just going to keep them at arm's length. But I also feel like by the end of this, we are going to potentially lose one of, if not a couple of the main characters. So I'm kind of preempting that. If that doesn't happen, yay for me and my teared up. But if that does happen, I'm preparing for it. I'm ready.
So I've just downloaded the sample from Kindle. There's no time jump. But I've just seen all the different perspectives. I didn't read anything. I just looked at the name and flipped. So I could give you a spoiler of who's in it if you want, but you can also wait.
I think I shall wait. I will wait.
Fine.
But I have theories. I feel like we are gonna potentially go deeper into the trenches before we come out the other side. I'm hoping that he does the J. Kristoff bittersweet ending and not just ruin my whole heart and brain. But this is the first time I've read from this author, so I don't know what he's like.
I don't know if he's written anything else.
But I'm really happy that there is yet another book series that we've started that I'm actually vibing with, because we've had some hits and misses with me and in the series that we've picked, and I'm just glad we found a new one. I found a new author that I'm also really vibing with.
Yeah. This is his only completed series.
Wow.
He started a new series called The Witchfinder Chronicles. But I don't.
So is this his debut then?
I think so.
That is really good for a debut then. That is the case. Bless you.
Thank you.
If that is the case, then that is really good for a debut, because I would not have guessed that this was a debut. Bless you.
Thank you. And then the other series that he's got, The Witchfinder Chronicles, both books are listed as ebooks at 40 pages each. So they're more novellas than, or novella sizes than full.
Well, we'll see how the rest of the series goes, but we've started off well.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's just hope it continues. But we've got 2 more books for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'm going to order the next 2, I think, on Waterstones, because I have points to use and I have no money to spend. So I think that's what we're going to do.
So we've got the next book, the next 2 books of the series to finish off this year.
Yeah.
As usual, we'll take a break in January.
Yep.
And then we'll come back for a first show in the next series, which will be February.
Yeah, but we'll start a new series in January because we take a
Yeah.
break.
Well, we'll take a break in December. We don't have a new series. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to continue
I'm
this.
really enjoying this series, and I'm very
Yeah.
eager. And now I know what the perspectives are. I'm even more eager.
now you want. I want to go and have a look, but I'm not gonna because we've got
I can tell you.
probably another month until we read the next book. Well, until we talk about the next book. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That is true. Wow. I hope you guys have enjoyed this live show. I'm sorry I've been sneezing. I think I'm coming down with something again.
fun times.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
Maybe
I
you
love
just
this
need
time
like
of
some
year.
vitamins jabs.
Oh, need to just, I don't know, move to Greece or somewhere warm. At this time of year. I think I love this time of year though. I love being cold. But then again, I really enjoyed being in Greece when it was hot because I had aircon. If my house had aircon, I think I'd be okay. My house does not have
I
aircon.
think what you need is to just get a shit ton of vitamins.
But I'm fine in the summer. In the summer, I'm just allergic to the grass and the trees. And then in the winter, I'm just dying.
A drama queen. Little bit of a drama queen, do you not think?
I'm dying. Oh, somebody better be dying. Yeah. I think it's just my body being like, dude, take a break. Dude.
Yeah.
You took a nice break on holiday. Why have you gone back? Why?
Maybe just take more regular small breaks, which is what I do. Saying that, I still get ill quite a lot just because I'm a chronically ill human being. Yay!
I'm not chronically ill. I just think everybody makes me sick. And I think Jack just brings home bugs. I genuinely think so. Half the time he doesn't get sick, but I think he just carries them in. Like, I'm not in. See my house. Make my fiance sick. Honestly, it's been a roller coaster for this past week. It's been like Monday, Tuesday, fine, Wednesday going downhill, Thursday sick, Friday fine, Saturday better, Sunday fine, Monday fine, Tuesday fine, Wednesday sick. Honestly, it's just like for the past 3 weeks, this is what it's been. So I'll be fine on Friday, but currently, I'm not fine.
Oh, bless you. Get a face steamer. I've got one of them and they are a lifesaver. They honestly, they are so good. I will send you the link to the one that my dad got me. Honestly, bloody lifesaver.
Or I have the poor person's version, which is a bowl of water, heated from the kettle, a dollop of Vicks, and a towel.
Oh, bless you.
Poor person's version.
What's the name of the next book?
Fool's Hope.
Fools? Oh my god, that's not a great title, that is it?
Well, I mean, the last book is Until the Last, so.
Oh well, I'm not gonna look forward to the next book because now I think that it's just gonna be a bit of disaster. But we'll see. We'll see you in November on my channel for Fool's Hope.
Yeah.
More grim darkness, and I'm not gonna eat while I'm reading the book 2 either because I feel like I might throw up.
Oh my god!
More torture scenes probably.
I just looked up the
Red
page
something
count.
that spoils it.
No. I was looking up the page counts to see the size of the books because this one was just under 500 pages. The next one's just under 600 pages. The last book, apparently, according to Goodreads, 784 pages.
Shit, right? Did not realize they were that big. So
Me neither. So woo!
Oh, but this
Hopefully
is fun.
Floppy paperback because otherwise I'm screwed. Okay, this was fun.
Oh,
Thank you for joining us.
very fun. Adios, amigos. See you in November.
A bientôt, I don't know the rest of that sentence.